Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're going to continue our conversation with Connie. We stopped on some advice that we gave for students, and we talked about your experience as a student. We talked about your education, your college experience, and your experience in the student association. Now we're going to talk about your work.
Okay.
Your work. So let's start with how did you think of this job, like this work? What did you imagine, and what do you actually do now? Are there some changes, some discrepancies? What were your expectations before you entered the field, basically?
So before I entered the field, I expect myself to be using all of my creativity into the different projects I create. But the discrepancy is that, well, you work for someone else, so you have to listen to your boss and then do it the way they want. And I'm not complaining, but I do see it wasn't the way I expected it to be. But what I like about my job is that my boss is actually very nice. He gives me a lot of space to work with. So basically, it's usually that I pitch him an idea and then we develop it together, and then I put it into final writing. And I like writing and I like creating stuff, so I like my job because it allows me to at least remain some of my creativity and not let it go to waste or something. Yeah.
So you really like to create,
right,
and to be productive,
right,
in creativity. And it's been, how about some challenges that you faced in your work? Can you describe some challenges?
Well, because for me, I'm not really a person that pays attention to platforms in Taiwan. So my biggest challenge when I first entered the studio I work at is that I have to familiar myself with what's trending in Taiwan, like who's very popular, what topic is very popular. So I spent almost an entire month just looking at all kinds of different videos that different people make, and even the ones that I consider meaningless, talking about nonsense, but I still have to make it a part of my research.
I see.
So my biggest challenge is that before I entered this job, I didn't have enough insight about the trends in Taiwan. I focused too much on other countries, or at least for me, I like watching American YouTube channels or TV shows and movies and all that. So I didn't know what it's like in Taiwan. So I think that's the most challenging part. But now
could we ask you, so what are the trends of media? What are some unique features of media in Taiwan that are distinct from those in the United States and elsewhere?
Okay. One thing is about clickbaiting. So clickbaiting is universal, everywhere. Every single person that makes videos, that makes media contents, focus so much on clickbaiting, but especially in Taiwan. Especially? Yeah, because the studio I work for, it's more about a content base. We make videos that contain a lot of informative contents. So to get people to watch it, you have to have a very smashing, cool, outstanding topic, video topic that attracts people to click on.
You mean the title of it?
Yeah, so that's called clickbaiting. So clickbaiting is for example, oh my god, I almost died. This is a clickbaiting video title.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But so in Taiwan, there's so many people that use this particular trick just to get views. So
how do you say clickbait in Chinese? Is there a term, or do we use the English?
Clickbaiting.
怪啊，
No. Like some something like that.
Okay.
就是去
勾引
trick 人家点进去. So this is something that a lot of people do just to get views, and the audience actually buy it.
Yes.
Yeah. But then they leave comments complaining, yeah, you just tricked me coming in here and watching your video for 5 minutes, something like that. Yeah, and another phenomenon is that, let's take the platform YouTube as an example. In foreign countries, there are all kinds of YouTube channels. But in Taiwan, the most popular ones are video gaming, and like unboxing stuff.
That's the same in the States, isn't it? Yeah, gaming is also huge in the States.
Gaming is a huge trend, but not on YouTube. It's actually on another platform called Twitch, I think.
I see. Oh,
Or
okay.
Twitch, I think, yeah. So basically, but like, if you guys know about YouTube, PewDiePie is the most subscribed YouTuber in the entire world, and he does videos, gaming videos, like originally. But then he has all these like prank videos, all kinds of like variety. So he's not just a gaming YouTuber anymore.
Right.
He's actually something else. But in Taiwan, the trend is still gaming or pranking, unboxing. Yeah, basically these three. So content-based videos are actually a disadvantage, to be honest.
So we should actually game, like in the future, live broadcast, no more talking. We'll be gaming. Yeah,
You want to play League of Legends?
We can play League of Legends. We can unbox stuff. We can eat stuff. Like,
yeah, right.
Eat in front of that would be pretty cool, right? This new media trend.
Yeah, like unboxing is very popular worldwide, but eating, I think eating is something that's very popular in Taiwan and in Japan.
Yeah.
These are two countries where like people make eating videos, and then the audience listens to these people, and then they go buy those stuff and then eat.
That's a trend that you discovered in the process of your work.
And also, I don't know. Please don't hate me because I say this, but usually the contents here that are very popular are the ones that when you watch you don't have to think about anything.
So you mean they appeal to? Would you say younger audience, or they appeal to?
The trend is that the media users nowadays the age of media users nowadays are actually
It's in decline. It's in decline. Yeah.
It's in decline because a lot of junior high school students or elementary school students have access to the internet, so they would watch all kinds of videos on these platforms, including social media like Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Right. And
so I guess the question that therefore, if students who are interested in media, they want to pursue a career, for instance, to become creative individuals in the new media's era in this age of new media, or they want to become journalists, they want to work in technology. What advice would you give, since the trends lead toward this sort of that you find not so positive, or what sort of advice would you offer?
My advice would be to know about people of all ages, to know like what each stage is like. For example, what are elementary school students paying attention to, what are junior high school, and what are older people paying attention to. So you would be able to create different kinds of contents that appeal to different types of audience. Because I feel like nowadays it's very hard to create something that has a comprehensive, that has the ability to gain comprehensive audience. So usually this type of content attracts certain target audience, and then this type doesn't attract this target audience. So working in this new era of media, you have to know everything.
Yeah, but that sort of goes against the conventional advice, which is you walk into a room as a creator, and then you create from there. You speak from your own voice, and then you attract your audience. That's sort of how would you respond to this conventional advice that if you create content that is good enough, you will attract and build your own what do they call that, readership or viewership?
I think this opinion still stands. It still works, but it takes way much more time. Yeah. If you stick to what you do, there are loyal viewers, there are loyal fans and audience that would just buy everything, like they would continue to support you. But it's a long process of maintaining this image and also prolonging what you have created.
Right.
So, how do I put this? Like nowadays, the media trend is fast changing. According to my observation, one topic usually lasts for a week, most tops. Like that's the longest an issue could appear on the media, and then a week later, it's forgotten. or like not really mentioned anymore. So I guess you can choose. You can choose to create contents for these fads, or you can choose to create things that are long-lasting. These are two types of media that still has viewership and still has audience. People still support them, but it's just the trend. The current trend is going towards the fast-changing one. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a challenge for you, maintaining this sort of insight and sensitivity to media, and you have to stay on it, right? It's something that constantly changes.
But at the same time, I also learned how to create content that's more about fad, and also the ones that can be reviewed even 10 years later. That would still be helpful, right?
Okay. Let's see if we have any questions from the audience. Is there anyone watching? There are still 7 people. Thank you, 7 people, for watching. If you have any questions about media, about technology and using English, today's your chance. Please ask. And so, actually, I wanted to ask about your future career now. So you're new to the job market. Actually, you're first year out of college. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see the field in a few years' time? 5, 10, maybe.
Okay. So I work as a program planner right now, and to be honest, it's not like my biggest interest. It's not the thing that I wanted to do the most, as in like a career. So probably I would like to pursue a career in marketing and event planning in the future. And I also have plans to go abroad for my master's degree once I figure out like exactly what kind of expertise I want to master in.
May I ask, what are you thinking about?
I'm actually looking at schools that have advertising or marketing programs.
So you're in the business side of media, or the technical?
More like the media venture ones.
I see.
Yeah, so I still want to work closely related to the media, because I know that's how you spread the word nowadays, and that's how you attract people nowadays. So I guess what this job gives me is to know how the media works, and also how I will be able to get information and insight on the media trends, and I want to use this ability on my future career to help people promote events, like create something and then help people accomplish it and then spread the word out.
Do you like the tech, the business side in this sense?
No, I like the application side.
But you like so the technical side as well.
Right.
Do you need to learn how to film and how to edit? How to
not really.
So, but your work is in the creative production.
It's the thing I wanted to study is about how you manage event planning, like so-called event planning, like how you plan something from the beginning, and also the process of promoting it, and at the end how you conclude it. So these are the things I want to do, because my student associate experience made me realize that I'm very interested in planning stuff, like holding events. So I wanted to do this for a living in the future. Right, so that's why I wanted to, because to be honest, in the future, a lot of things will not really exist anymore. It will exist digitally, so you need to know about conventional media, traditional media, and also digital media. And learning about marketing, this is something that's included in the marketing program. So learning about these things will enable me to like pursue a further insight on my future career.
I see. No, as this interview has progressed, I've been thinking a lot about it. Originally, I wasn't going to say this; it wasn't in my mind. But you've been saying some things, talking about your education and your future. Actually, in the English department here at Foreign Catholic University, I'm using media to promote our department. Our goal is to train students to be to be critical, to be communicative, to be cross-cultural. And also to be productive. And we've talked about 3 of those aspects. The one we haven't really talked about is cross-cultural. Your English abilities, how have they enabled you in some ways to promote cross-cultural communication, which is, you've talked about bringing Western topics, English topics to your audience, right? Is there a particular topic or a particular dimension of your content, of the work that you've done that has very effectively promoted cross-cultural communication, in your opinion? Or how do you see it in yourself, in your life? You know? How has English benefited you cross-culturally? Difficult question, I think.
How is English?
My crew can't stand the intensity of the question, but that's okay.
I think, well, in my personal experience, I think the way English has benefited me is that I have become more competitive, like wherever I go.
Hear that, students? English will make you competitive. You heard it from.
So I was in the States last summer, and I took some courses at the University of California, and studying in the States is like two different things, like completely different. And in the program, I was still able to adjust to it, and then doing group projects. It's not because that I'm not American, or I didn't get my education in the States that, you know, I'm inferior to my peers. I was still able to speak my opinions and gain their respect. So there was like a mutual respect between me and my classmates. So I feel like a lot of people don't have enough confidence to speak English. But I think the point is not about whether you're eloquent, you're fluent. It's that you have to be brave enough to take the first step to say something. And to be honest, I was in the States for 2 months, and I traveled with basically Chinese people and Taiwanese people who don't really speak English. And some really just choose to seek help from like me to get like take their orders or something, but
so basic life.
Yeah, but some people just like decide to just go ahead and then, you know, French fries, #1, something like that. I think that's like the first step. And regarding how English has helped me cross-culturally, I think I was able to tell people about where I come from and how my culture, like what my culture is like, and to give them knowledge about the place where I grew up.
Yeah.
And
so in other words, your English promoted your identity.
Right.
Yeah. So that's actually something really interesting. Yeah. So any pieces of advice for our students who are probably, yes, there's a question. There's a comment. A comment, yes.
Okay.
Tina won.
Okay.
Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Tina, yes, hi Tina. Yes, I'm tracking it, yes.
Okay.
It's so lucky to be a nice boss.
It's so lucky to be a nice boss.
And when you talk about trends, she said, let's combine English with these trends.
What?
Let's combine English with these trends.
Yeah.
The trends
Okay.
you have just mentioned.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing now.
There is a question from Su Ziyun.
Su Ziyun, thank you so much
Thank you.
for watching. Yes, we love you, you know.
And what about wedding planning?
What about wedding planning?
Oh, you mean for my future career? Yeah, I think that's like one thing I want to do the most because I love weddings.
I didn't know that about you. Wow.
I love weddings. The thing that made me want to do event planning in the first place is that I like to see other people's smiles when they know that something they want has been realized. It has been presented in front of them. So weddings are like really romantic and dreamy, right? So my sister just got married recently. So like seeing her wedding and how it's planned made me realize that, yeah, I definitely want to be a wedding planner. Like, yeah, I want to make people's dreams come true.
Right.
Or like birthday parties. These are things that I consider cool and interesting.
So students, if you're getting married anytime soon, or if you have a
Don't
birthday.
call me.
We put Connie's phone number in the comment box.
Please don't call me. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, but planning, the organization is something that is important. And
Yeah.
it's benefited you in your career. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Thank you, Su Ziyun.
Yeah. So, thank you, Ziyun. So I want to close with a few things. I want to offer students some advice, but also I want to give some recommendations. Because students, later I will leave some questions for you. We will offer students some questions.
Okay.
So let's say you had a choice of one film, one movie. One film. One book and one publication.
Publication?
So,
as in like...
So yeah, like a news outlet or a YouTube channel nowadays. To recommend to students for them to improve their English, what would you offer? My father offered Reader's Digest last week, so that's off the table.
Okay. So publication-wise, I've been reading news from CNN.
Read CNN, students.
Because
Okay.
CNN has those like for like huge events, they have like a summary of the timeline. I
Yes.
think it's very
Super,
important.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so for example, I was reading about the Vegas shooting a few weeks ago.
Yes.
They have like from the beginning and
Yep.
till when the investigation was going on.
Yes.
So publication-wise, CNN is a pretty good choice. They have a cell phone app, so download it and then read it all the time. And the words they use are not really that difficult, and sometimes they have typos. So it's really fun for me, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. They need to be fast.
Book-wise,
Book-wise,
book
one
is very hard.
book
To improve their English.
that students who are watching this film now or
Okay.
in the future.
I'll share with everybody the first English book I have ever read was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Wonderful choice.
Yeah, and
By Roald Dahl.
yeah, it was a book for kids. It was very elementary. It's
Yeah.
not hard to read,
Yeah.
and it brings you to a new aspect of literature. I think.
I think
Like
so
the
too. I agree. I
fantasy.
totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally
so
agree.
it's full of fantasies and lots of candy.
Just read Roald Dahl in general. For
Yeah,
instance, my
like
favorite
Matilda.
Roald Dahl. I love Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda
I decided to
is
name
good.
my daughter Matilda. Actually, if I have a daughter,
Lily,
because
are you watching?
yeah, Lily knows. Actually, we've decided on this. So the reason is because Matilda has there's a nickname
Yeah.
which is Tilly, which
Right.
rhymes with Lily.
Wow. Oh, how romantic.
And I think that it's cute because if I'm calling my daughter, I can go Tilly, Tilly. That sounds pretty cute. But if she's pissing me off, like Matilda, right? That feels more
That's
powerful.
The
Yeah.
dramatic
Yeah,
aspect of the name.
And the first time we went, Lily and I went to watch a musical. We watched Matilda. Yeah. So students watch, read Roald Dahl, yeah, or James and the Giant Peach. I love that one as well.
Movie.
One film. So, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl, CNN, and then one film. If you could recommend one film for students to watch, what would it be?
Film is like impossible. I watch so many films. Like to improve their English.
So it's easy enough for them to get into, and it's
Just watch a Disney movie, any Disney movie, like Aladdin. My favorite is Aladdin.
watch Aladdin. All right, students, go watch Aladdin.
Like, get
Sing a whole
yourself-
new world.
Yeah.
You will discover a whole new world.
No, actually, my advice would be watch something that interests you. It's very important to keep yourself interested and motivated at the same time when you're learning a language.
Yeah.
So watch whatever it is that interests you. You can watch a horror movie like It, which is super awesome, and you can watch a comedy, I don't know, like Mean Girls,
Mean
classic. Or chick flicks like The Notebook, you know, Nicholas Spark, everything. So like,
Such disdain, Connie.
yeah, like just anything that
I
interests
agree.
you.
I agree. So students, the point that I really hope that I've made, hopefully Connie, you agree with me, is that it's all about what you are interested in and what you want to do.
Right.
Media and technology, ultimately, they are a medium, they're a form, but it comes back, it boils back down to what you want to do or what your interests are.
Like,
And English enriches your life through media, through technology.
yeah, and I also want to add that technology and media is a medium for you to express yourself. So it's very important how you express yourself and what you tell other people. So like reading, you know, knowing things, these are all things that enriches your life and enriches your presence in this new era of digital media. I mean, nobody wants to be treated as someone who's stupid or ignorant, I guess.
I hope not.
Or
Yeah.
like,
I
you know,
hope
you're
not.
intentionally creating an image, that's fine as well, but I'm just saying you have a perfect platform, use it well, use it wisely.
Okay. Thank you, Connie, so much for being with us
Yay!
today. Thank you, students, for watching. I really, really hope that you've been inspired a little bit to think about media and technology.
And think about English.
Yes. Okay. So next week there will be another guest, also an alum of our department. We look forward to meeting Mr. Dominic Lee next week. Yeah. Okay. So you know Dominic,
Yeah,
right?
I know
Yes. So tune in again next week, Wednesday, 2 o'clock. Thank you all very much for being with us today. Bye-bye.